Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and today we are doing another Fatal Friday video. This will be the second video that I am releasing on this day. The reason for that being that, well, last week I did not do a Fatal Friday video. So to compensate for the 1 week off, I'm going to go ahead and release 2 videos in the same day this week. And this video specifically is going to be highlighting the fatality for the cameo fighter Frost. That fatality is breaking points. I'll be teaming up Reptile with the cameo fighter Frost in order to make that happen. Now, Fatal Friday is a series that I do where I try to get finishers for Mortal Kombat 1 characters in the Mortal Kombat 1 Kombat League. Going into the Kombat League today, I'm going to be facing off against a Johnny Cage user. So we will see how the duo of Reptile and Frost do against this competition. Now, when I selected this video to release on this day, I wasn't really shooting for any specific reasoning for it other than that maybe it was the next one in line out of the videos that I had to do. This video was recorded back during the very first season of the Kombat League, and I think we're in Season 3 now. But putting all of that aside for a moment, I think this was actually a really good choice. After all, we are featuring Frost, a character that can control ice and snow during the holiday season that is centered around, the snowy, icy winter wonderland related holidays. So yeah, that was completely coincidental, but this character is surprisingly appropriate for the festivities and the occasions. So keeping that in mind, I am actually really happy that I started highlighting the fatalities and brutalities of this evil Elsa in my series. Now, previously we have highlighted one of the brutalities for Frost already. That brutality was the pincushion brutality. With that one out of the way, we only had 2 Frost-related videos to do. One would be for her fatality, which we are doing here today, the breaking point fatality. And after that, we'll only have 1 remaining video to do, and that will be for her very last brutality, which I don't know the name of right offhand, but it is the one that you can get for doing her downward freezing attack. So stay tuned for that. I don't know that I'll be doing it next week, but it will probably be happening in the very next few weeks. And then after all that's knocked out, we will be done with the cameo fighter Frost. Well, not completely. I may use her as a cameo fighter for one of the other main roster characters, but there won't really be any new videos that are featuring her specifically. Unless Mortal Kombat 1 has some updates and suddenly she has more brutalities and fatalities to do. I don't see that happening with all the DLC characters they're trying to release into the world of Mortal Kombat. That is just a lot of work to stack on top of what is already a lot of work. But I will not complain if they do it. That will just give me another reason to use Frost as a cameo fighter. And suddenly Johnny Cage does a YOLO fatal blow and... Well, I tried to backdash away whenever I realized it was the delayed version of Johnny's fatal blow, but then, right as I was doing that, he released the delay and it hit me. I have no idea if that was just really good timing by my opponents or if that was just a lot of luck. Either way though, it landed, so good for them. And I guess for context, if you don't play as Johnny Cage or against Johnny Cage very much in this game, he has 2 different versions of his fatal blow. One is just a straight up attack that you can do, like that one right there, whenever you delay it for a little while. And the other is simply a parry, where Johnny just dances around for a little bit and hopes that you hit him, and if you do hit him, then he immediately counters you, and that initiates the fatal blow. I think Johnny Cage is the only character in the entire roster for Mortal Kombat 1 that has 2 different versions of the fatal blow. I think the one exception of that would be the cameo fighter Motaro. If you have paired Motaro with a character, and you try doing your character's fatal blow, there is a way that you can get Motaro to hit your opponent instead, which can throw off the timing of your opponent if they're expecting one fatal blow, but instead they get another. But yeah, those are the only 2 examples that come to mind, and Johnny Cage is the only character that can just straight up do that by himself. And of course, I fell victim to it in this fight, but that's alright, there's still plenty of fighting left to do. And I talk about this in the other video that I released today, but I was not very good at fighting people who use smoke. And the reason that is relevant is because this person's Kombat Kard happens to be smoke related. So whenever this fight was about to begin and I had not seen which character this person was using, I was kind of dreading the fight because I assumed that I was going to be fighting against Smoke in this fight. I honestly sighed a breath of relief the moment that I saw that it was Johnny Cage. Now don't get me wrong, Johnny Cage can still be very tricky to match up against, but at the time that this was recorded, I would definitely say I matched up better against Johnny Cage than I did Smoke. At least I knew some of Johnny Cage's tricks. And considering how the first round went, I have to wonder how familiar this person was with Johnny Cage. Or not the first round, but the very first match of the set. Because in that very first match, I don't think I actually took a single hit. Like, I think I took some chip damage from blocking one of his hits, but that's about it. I think it was borderline a flawless victory. But I'm not going to get cocky here because you're going to see in a moment this person does give me a run for my money in the very end. In fact, he gave me a run for my money in that very last round whenever he did the fatal blow. Like, it was really close and I managed to just use an armored attack to get out of the situation. And here, it's not much better. So it made me wonder if maybe he was just messing around and then just trying to do a comeback at the very end. I don't see why a person would do that, but it just seems like he started playing a lot better towards the end than earlier on. But who knows, maybe he was just figuring out the matchup against me and figuring out what I was doing. Either way, it's just really weird how drastically different the difficulty was against this person from when the fight first started and how the fight eventually would end. And to reiterate my point, suddenly this individual has me below 30% health and I am barely clinging on to my life in this fight. At this point, I began to wonder if I was going to lose this match and things were going to get a little bit out of hand. It would really suck to win 2 in a row and then end up losing all the rest of them, so I was kind of starting to worry just a little bit.
Fatality. Reptile wins.
But in the end, it turned out that I was worrying for absolutely nothing. Well, maybe not absolutely nothing after all. I only won that fight with 1.75 health points remaining. So in all actuality, I barely won that fight. So yeah, I might have gotten very lucky there at the very end, but hey, a win is a win. I will take it. Fortunately, there would not be a comeback from my opponent, and things were not going to snowball out of control for me and Frost. Snowball and Frost. Anyway, like, I have not been keeping track or anything, but I think winning by 1.75 health points is the least amount of health that I have had when winning a fight. So this one was very close to close out the entire set, and that was a pretty exciting way to conclude everything. Just thank you to my opponent for competing against me on this occasion. Thanks to this fight, I was able to do the breaking point brutality. And whenever I wrap up this entire outro, I'll go ahead and show off the breaking point fatality one more time. Wait, did I say fatality earlier or brutality? I'm legitimately not sure, and I'm not going back to change it if I got it wrong. Just know that I meant fatality. Anyway, we landed the breaking point fatality. And that is going to be it for this episode of Fatal Friday. Just thank anyone who happens to be watching this video for taking a look and seeing how it went. This has been Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor. Thank you again for watching. Take care, and I will see you next time.
Fatality. Reptile wins.